the best defense is a good offense, and discussing whether or not we're going to be 501c3 or 508 something, that's figuring out what kind of defense we're going to be doing. Whereas if we've got our constables and our justice of the peace judicial officers and our 100 courts in place, and especially if we got common law counties properly functioning, we can tell IRS agents to just stay out of our county. You know, we've got an alternative economy here. And this gets to the economics issue. The original, there were an alternative name for our town constable and our township. The 10 household community is also known, which is a township, is also known as, quote, a tithing group. The town constable, he's also known, quote, as a tithing man, unquote. Okay? He collects the tithes. See, back before the Norman Conquest and most of England, even later, there was no separation of church and state. It's all spiritual. And the economic donations came from the grassroots up in a voluntary and non-coercive manner. It's absolutely insane that Al Capone was sent to jail by IRS. You know, that IRS revenue gathering should not be coercive. Revenue gathering should be voluntary, and people that don't pay what in good conscience they should be contributing to the collective treasury, they should just be excluded from society. Their qualified elector status would be revoked. But as long as you're being an honorable member of the community and you're contributing what you're reasonably capable of contributing, then you should be home free. You should be able to live in peace. And by focusing on the common law model of government as opposed to that Roman Empire municipal civil authority, so many problems just evaporate. And instead of having defensive discussions with them about whether or not they're respecting our rights under the IRS code, it's better to, in my mind, to take the offense and just inform them their IRS collection agencies have no authority in here, and our local community members that have been regularly filling out IRS 1040 tax returns with you, we're going to be encouraging them to stop doing that. If you've got any objection to us telling people to quit filling out IRS forms, please let us know. Otherwise, we're going to continue doing it. Have a nice day. Thank you. We need to be more confrontational with these people within the boundaries of the law. And I'm willing to take the point and be the first guy to get arrested on this kind of stuff, because I don't think they're going to do it, because I've studied the law long enough to where I'm confident in it. I've crossed swords with a lot of these guys for a lot of years, and there's a point at which it's like martial arts. The first one to blink is usually the guy that loses the fight, because it's mostly psychological. If there's martial artists that are near matched, equal, the one that blinks first is usually the one he loses the psychological edge, usually, if he blinks first. And that's kind of the psychology of what we're doing here. And when you're up against weasels like IRS agents and most other municipal de factos, if you know your law and you know your moral high ground and your legal high ground, they will blink first. And it feels real good to watch them do it. Anyway, yeah, comments, questions, I yield.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you, Jim. should we scroll on down the agenda item here and look for other worthwhile topics to talk about a little bit? We haven't talked a little bit about the coronavirus complaint that we've got before the court, that our friend that's been kind of out of touch for a while. I am a little bit worried about him, though he made a Facebook post here last night. Abraham Duran's agreed to be the moving party in a complaint against Bill Gates and Anthony Fauci and numerous others on conspiracy to declare fraudulent medical emergency, and as a result of the so-called coronavirus pandemic. And we've got this is in item number 5 in our invitation. We've got a couple web links there. And we've got 5 people that have agreed to sign on as jurors, basically, at least with reservations. They want to have time to review the final product, but they've generally affirmed that they're willing to stand up and speak out and declare that this whole declaration of emergency about a coronavirus is a fraud, and that anybody that tries to do forcible injections, they may be resisted with whatever force is necessary, including deadly force, if that happens to be necessary. And so this is all written into our jury verdict. And once we get 12 signatures on a jury verdict like that, and we start publishing it, that will be a wall-building project. That will cut off everybody that is within our area of protection, within our common law jurisdictions. They will not have authority to forcibly vaccinate us. And when it comes time to debate whether or not there's a real emergency or not, well, guess what? The higher law of the Seventh Amendment, the rules of the common law, have been complied with in this case, and we've got a jury that has unanimously declared that this whole declaration of emergency on the coronavirus, it's a fraud, it's a lie, straight from the pit of hell. And if you're going to contest this, you need to form your own 12-person jury that pledges on their qualified elector status that they're speaking truthfulness before God in a more righteous and honorable manner. And you need to hold yourselves open. Your jury needs to hold yourself open to discussions with our jury, so that we can arrive at an objective consensus as to what is real objective truth here. And when you understand the dynamic, organic interplay process of what conflicting jury verdicts might have to do to affect not only this coronavirus situation but all situations, you come to the comprehension that when you get juries functioning like this, it quickly becomes implausible to mount morally and ethically bankrupt and intellectually bankrupt arguments like what the advocates of the coronavirus declaration of emergency are doing, because in free and open debate, they go down in flames. They go down in flames because they're intellectually bankrupt. Okay? But we're not going to be able to draw that out as long as it's just mainstream media and attorney generals and goofballs that are talking about what's going on. Unless we've got the authority of a jury verdict declaring things like this, we're just part of the larger chaos and confusion and anarchy that the whole universe is deteriorating into in our modern times. This is why our jury verdicts are so important. They establish law and order objectively. That's why they're placed at a higher level in the Seventh Amendment. So I kind of rattled a little bit there. Comments, questions, anybody?
Comments, Jim here. I would like to add a pallet of bricks to that project. You have 6 now.
Ah, excellent. Jim, I'll put you on a number 6 there. Very good. Thank you. We're halfway to a full jury verdict here, everybody. We're making meaningful progress in confronting the devil and his minions.
For what it's worth, I'd like to say that I have never worn a mask any place. I will not wear a mask. There's no need to wear a mask. There's nothing to be afraid of. There are fewer people who have died from this so-called virus than die annually from the flu, and we don't put masks on when it comes so-called flu season. And every one of us may, at any given time, may have 4, 5, 6 different coronaviruses in our bodies. The common cold is, by definition, a coronavirus of one type or another, period. And I'll stop with that.